Hi guys, Tammy here. It's a little bit after 10, but I had to do this book review. So today I'm going to talk about Jasmine Williams' Us Over Everything 1 and 2. This video is going to be a little bit long because I'm talking about two books in one and they're both really good. So, the main characters in these books are Ace, sorry. Ace is the best friend, but the main characters are Akeem Maniac Freeman, Adrena Hicks, Ace, which is his best friend, Destiny, Nori, um, his mom, Miss Roslyn, his other younger sister, Nana and Nadina. Nori is his sister also. So the story begins, book one. Book one, Maniac, he started out telling his story about his back life. His father died when he was 12. He had to basically be the man of his house for his mother and his two younger sisters. At the age of 14, things got really rough for them. They were living in a shelter, and he started to hustle. Um, that's when he got his name Maniac. Someone threatened him and his mother, and he took it to the next level, and he basically lost it. So then that's how he got the nickname Maniac. Anyway, he met his friend Ace. Ace was doing some hustling, so he's told him that, oh, we need some money. I'm gonna start doing some hustling with you. So they end up being hustlers together. So while they're being hustlers together, they will end up saving their money and doing what they need to get done. Maniac basically became legitimate overnight. By the age of 21, he didn't go to college, but he ended up start saving his money and started his own credit union called Freeman Financial, just like his last name, Akeem Freeman. So it's called Freeman Financial. Ace's best friend still there. They still do illegal hustle on the side. So Adrena Hicks now was introduced through Nori. Nori is Maniac's sister. She was doing her hair for her date that she had with her boyfriend. Long story short, she was Adrena was leaving and then Maniac opened the door and bumps her over. Long story short with that one, he met her, he apologized to her and ended up walking her to her car and they exchanged numbers. That's how their relationship started. The same time, Adrena had her best friend Destiny. Destiny basically is everything Adrena needed in a friend because Adrena's not really close with her parents. So Adrena stays with Destiny when she's not at VCU, which is a Virginia College University, I think. I'm not sure, but I think that's what it stands for. She stays with Destiny when she's as I said, not in school, and she had a trifling ex-boyfriend, Jeremy. So Jeremy ended up cheating on her and was very controlling, and she didn't want to be any part of him or have anything to do with him, technically. And he took it offense and he said, no, if I can't have you, nobody could have you. Stop acting a fool. You know we belong together. And he was just giving his song and dance and like wouldn't shut up. So she finally told him and said, no, I would never be with you. Stop acting a fool. There's nothing to be, there's no way we're going to be together. And by the way, how did you get in the apartment? So he was upset and he started choking her. Here comes Miss Destiny. She is a spitfire. Destiny was like, what do you think you're doing in my apartment? Threatening my best friend. Are you losing it? Are you out of your mind? So he was still acting a fool. Why Destiny shot him in the butt? Man, I was dying. He was like whining and crying. You shot me. You shot me in the ass. Look, oh, get over it. She's like, yeah, and I'll do it again. He's like, I'm gonna kill you. Yeah. She's like, no, you're not gonna do crap. And what? My father is a cop. What you gonna do about that? So anyway, they call the cops. They fill out a restraining order against him, and that was the end of Jeremy for now. So she was telling Adrena started telling Destiny about that she met Maniac and that he asked her out and everything of that sort. So she was very iffy about the relationship because she was very scared. She didn't want to get into a relationship, especially the one she just came out of with Jeremy. But Destiny was her voice of reason and tell her that she needs to give it a try and not to doubt Maniac before she judged him before she actually got to know him. So she ended up get to know him and they end up really having a good relationship together. Around the same time, Maniac found out that his younger sister, Nadina, aka Nana, was pregnant. She's only 16, and Miss Roslyn, his mother, was losing it. So they found there's like, who's the baby daddy, and she was just no. She was very disrespectful. Like there's a lot of back and forth with her talking to her mother, being very disrespectful. I didn't like that. Growing up Jamaican, you don't talk to parents like that. Anyway, so Akeem stepped in and he was like, "What's going on?" When he found out that she was pregnant, he was very upset and wanted to know who the daddy was, and she said, "No, I'm not telling you." Anyway, long story short, that she left the house and they couldn't find her. So then Ace actually drove up and found her with their friend Memphis. So now Memphis was actually introduced in the beginning of the book because he wanted to do human trafficking. He said it's a good amount of money. It's about $500,000, not half a million, $500,000, and it's good money. And Akeem should basically be a part of that. Akeem didn't like that, so he basically beat him and tell him to get out of there. So now that they found him with Nadia, they basically captured him and brought him to a warehouse. They beat the crap out of him. Man, I was feeling bad for him. I'm like, no, don't do it. But he deserved it because he was a hot mess. So then they left him there to die, but unfortunately he didn't die. So we'll get to see him later on in book 2. Anyway, so Maniac and Adrena actually started still going out together. They're starting getting close, and Ace and Destiny starting getting close. So their relationship started becoming good, and everything was going great. So now comes time for Miss Nana to tell them who her baby daddy is. It was her schoolmate Tyshawn. Tyshawn is a hot mess, and so is his mother Tyshana or Tyshanda. Man, that name was so ghetto, I was dying. Anyway, she was a hot mess. She was just as ghetto fabulous and everything. So Maniac and Miss Roslyn went to this boy's house, wanted to talk to him and everything. Why is mother gonna act a fool and starting about my son ain't do nothing and you need to get your story straight? I'm like, some parents, they need to just like fall back a little bit. Anyway, they basically threatened him and his mother, and then they left, right? This fool gonna show up a few days later at the house with a gun, talking about, what, I have a gun in your face, what you gonna do now? Did he not know he's stand-up maniac? His name says it all, Maniac, right? Anyway, he basically manhandled him and ended up shot him in the knee. I was dying. He was like, "Why you shot me in the knee?" But I felt bad for a little bit because he was had a basketball career, a promising career. But if he's acting a fool now at this age, when he gets his ego in being a basketball player, he would have been a hot mess. Anyway, Maniac basically threatened him, telling him that if you tell them who did it, I'm going to come for you and your whole family. So he shut up, and that was the end of Tyshawn in book 1. So towards the the book start getting good now. Their relationship between Maniac and Adrene is going good. She's going back to school. They start in the relationship. They finally been together for like 2 to 3 months now, and they're going to have sex before she goes back to school. Why, towards the end of the book, he found out that he had a 13-year-old daughter named Kima by his trifling baby mama, Miracle. I'm like, really? Miracle? She's just a hot mess, trifling and jealous. So that's how book 1 ends. Now book 2 started out basically where book 1 ended. He found out about his daughter Kima. She's 13-year-old, very smart, very talented, and he wanted to be a part of her life, but he had to get a DNA test first. So he did the DNA test, and it turned out that Miracle was telling the truth, and that was his daughter. So um and so now that he found out that about his daughter, he wanted to have a good relationship with her, and everything was doing good. Adrena was very upset about the whole situation, and she didn't want to talk to him. But when she finally found her voice of reason, which is Destiny, tell her she needs to listen to what he says and get his side of the story. So she finally woman up and listened to his story. Then she's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I just was hurt, and I should have gave you the opportunity to explain yourself." Around the same time, Nana got attacked. Mind you, she's pregnant, right? But she got attacked by Marcus's basically ex companion, not companion, but his ex boy. So I didn't tell you about the ex boy in book one. So the ex boy happened to be Capone. No, Capo, something like that, and the girl, his wife, is Suri. So let me give you a little background on them. They were introduced in book one on the bus trip that Akeem was doing to some water park or theme park. So on the bus trip, Nori, Destiny, Adrena, Akeem, Ace, and a couple other couples were there. Right, so she was telling her, "Oh, I'm glad that you're on this bus trip with us, and because these girls, they're so bougie, they got their man got a little bit of money and they all stuck up and everything." So Adrian was listening to her and saying, and just like, okay, I understand why Capone wife, I forgot her name, starts with an S, wanted to be like, "Oh, you need to shut up, you don't know what you're talking about before I come smack you in your face." So Nori, being a typical Nori, she's just as very mouthy and like ready to tell you off in a second. Was like, "How about you do something about it and you shut your little trifling ass up, blah blah blah." She basically told her about herself. Why Capo was like, "Yo, Maniac, you need to talk to your sister because she's disrespecting my wife," and yada yada yada. Maniac say, "No, I'm not gonna correct my sister because she's telling the truth about your wife." So the wife got offended and started to fight Nori in the bus. Man, that fight was something else. I'm telling you, Nori was just like basically taking her like a rag doll. It was funny just reading it. I was dying at work. So in the meantime, Capo wanted to act like he wanted to choke Nori. No, Maniac wasn't having that. So he basically fought him in the car, in the bus, and then kicked him off the moving bus. Yo, it was funny. He was like, "Yo, driver, open the door." He opened the door and just kicked him out. I felt so bad for him, but it was so funny. And at the same time, they pulled over so the trifling wife could get off the bus too. So that's their backstory. So anyway, come to find out, those two was the tribe, the two that attacked Nana. I'm just glad that she didn't lose the baby, but they did do a good beating on her. So Tyshawn called her and said, "Oh, I'm sorry about what happened. I know that I denied the baby at first, but it's my baby, and I'm sorry for what happened. But I know who did it. It was my cousin, and that's how we know about Capo and Siri, I think her name was." So Marcus was with her at the bowling alley when she got the call, and then he was like, "Okay, tell Mama meet him at his house." And him and Nori show up a few minutes later, and they was telling me, he tell him who told me who it is, show me where they live, and that's it. So he's like, "Oh, don't kill my cousin. I'm gonna take care. I don't want to have that on my conscience." He said, "No, I'm not gonna kill your cousin. I'm just gonna like show them up, like beat them up a little bit, right?" Which was a lie. Anyway, like a month or two later, they end up killing them, both of them, which was, I thought we knew was gonna happen. Anyway, around that time, so everything started getting back good. Adrena came around and they were still talking again. And now here comes Jeremy again. Why this fool go and kidnap her around the same time that Nana was in the hospital? So this fool's like, "Oh, if I can't have you, no one's gonna have you again." So Adrena's trying to use her head on him and trying to say, "Oh, I understand, and we're gonna be together." And he was just beating the crap out of her. Anyway, Destiny was there when Maniac showed up and said he wanted to get Ace and said, "Ace, come, we gotta go find Madrina because something just happened to her." So Destiny ended up telling Maniac about the ex and how crazy he is and everything. So Destiny remember where he lived, and basically Akeem found out and ended up saving her, which was very good. So he saved her, and he became the very overprotective boyfriend. He took her to school, got her an apartment, got her a car. She was so thankful, too thankful, that they ended up having unprotected sex, and she ended up pregnant. That was the best. So when she found out she was pregnant, she was scared. She didn't want it. Destiny, again, being her voice of reason, tell her that, you know, you need to keep this child. Like, you cannot kill this child and then not tell Akeem about it. Are you serious right now? You just saw what he went through, missing 13 years of his daughter, and then you're going to do this? So she basically slapped her reality check. So around the same time, she finally told him, and he was happy. Then she confronted Miracle. Then she met Miracle for the first time. Why Miracle gonna show her nasty face? No, let me tell you. Adrena, she did her good. She cursed her ass out and she was just on and on and on. Miracle was so ashamed that she just had to shut up and just like, I stopped being a fool. She was basically trying to keep Marcus from his daughter because of Adrena, and she was being jealous and envious and evil and vindictive. She was just being everything. She was just a hot mess, and I couldn't stand her for that. So Kima, her daughter, 13-year-old daughter, smart, intelligent Kima, put her mama in her place. I loved it. She basically told her mama, "This is your fault. Why I don't know him? Why you acting this way? First you was good, and now you trying to. First you were doing good. We were together when we were young. When I was young, we were doing good, and you was encouraging me. Now you're trying to turn me against it. That's not right." And she didn't like that, so she wanted to smack Kima, not in front of Maniac. That's his baby girl. He's protective over his girl. So he basically manhandled her, excuse me, he manhandled her and told her, no, you're not gonna do that. So she was there feeling sorry for herself. Anyway, so they just basically he told her they on the car home they talked and they felt bad and everything of the sort, you know. So that was good. So things was getting good. Everybody was getting along, and then here comes crazy, 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 crazy. Did I say crazy? Yes, crazy. Crazy Jeremy again. Jeremy. Guess who is his girlfriend? Nori. Can you believe it? Nori. Nori had no idea that this was Andreen crazy ex-boyfriend, and she was just like, "What? You're her ex-boyfriend? What do you mean?" He's like, "Yeah, this is the one that was stalking her, that tried to kidnap her. You know what happened, right? Marcus killed him. He killed him good too, and got his boys to discard of the body. So that was the end of Mr. Jeremy." So again, Thanksgiving, everybody's having a good time, everything's going good, and Miracle's still having her his fit about Mark Maniac. She loved him, she wanted to be with him, but he didn't want nothing to be with her. So she did a prank call and saying that something's wrong, and nothing was really wrong. Anyway, 2 weeks later, she actually got kidnapped. Well, not kidnapped, held up by Memphis. Yes, remember him? Memphis. So Memphis was he found out that that was Maniac's baby mother and wanted to kidnap her for $500,000 again. Yes. So Maniac got the call in the night, and him and Andreen went over, found out what the hell was going on. So found out that she was actually telling the truth this time, and he was in the house. So he was like, "Where's my money? Will you come over here with my money? You nobody's gonna leave here. Everybody's gonna die, and I'm gonna get my money and leave." He know he wasn't gonna get no money, so he was like, "Well, if I'm gonna go, I'm taking you with me." So Maniac ended up killing him, but he ended up shooting him in the chest. So Maniac was hurt, and he was in the hospital for a little bit. So around it was getting towards the end now, so we didn't really know what happened to Maniac until it was Christmas Day. So now he was out of the hospital, he was good health. Miracle finally came around. I guess the kidnapping like smacked the reality check in her. Her, Adrene, Kima, and Maniac actually had a good relationship. Around the same time, Xander was born, which is Nana's son, and everybody's coming around having a good time and getting to know each other again. And Miracle got them a trip to Jamaica, and they got her a shopping spree, and everything was doing good. And in the end, Andreen had twins, a boy and a girl, so I was happy for them. So, and that's the end of everything. Us Over Everything, Book 1 and Book 2 by Jasmine Williams. Guys, check it out. I love this book. I know I gave you a lot of information, a lot of detail about the book, but it was good. You got to check out the funny parts and leave her a review so you know so she knows what you think about the book. I'm going to have a picture of the book at the end of it. So, bye guys. Thanks again. See you later.